Hey everyone, this is Stevie Richards. Welcome to episode number 2 of Now For Sure. We're sure, right, Mike? We're sure the name is the
We are sure. We are sure. We're
sure.
not changing it again.
Welcome to the Big Fitness Show. The Big Fitness Show, which I put the squared symbol, which means you can't search for the Big Fitness Show, but now I've removed the squared symbol. I got a little too cute and fancy, but now we are available on each and every podcast platforms, even ones we never heard of before. And also, of course, you can go to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the video version as these episodes get more comfortable for Big Mike Behrens and myself, Big Stevie Cole. The reason why we call it the Big Fitness Show. We will overproduce the video version as Big Mike and myself are known to do. But I've said his name twice now. Let's introduce our co-host, who even with a sore throat, sounds like he has a better voice than me. How are you feeling, man?
No, yeah, I'm okay. I got a sore throat, but I feel pretty good. My whole family was sick over the last week or so, and I finally got it. And so I'm just kind of fighting a sore throat a little bit, and that's all right. The show must go on. So yeah, welcome everybody to the Big Fitness Show. Super excited to have everybody listening, and I'm excited for our conversation today. We're going to talk about New Year's resolutions, our big 3 for the year, Stevie's big 3, my big 3. We'll go over those. Going to talk about what New Year's resolutions mean and all that kind of stuff. So I'm excited for today's conversation. It's going to be good.
See, with the current state of your voice, you could probably host a show like Coast to Coast AM, one of my favorites, traveling on the road late at night, talking about UFOs, paranormal, all this different stuff. Very much a very low key type of mysterious type of voice. So you have that right now.
I'll bring it down for you, just nice and soft.
It's a little too much ASMR. But got to stop that. No. Oh, actually, we'll make it more views than clicks. So please continue. How's that?
We can do some ASMR stuff, and just bring it down. I don't know if that's going to work, but
don't scratch a cardboard box. I don't think that's it. So one of our New Year's resolutions, I'm sure of, is not to start an ASMR channel. So we can knock that out of the way. But before we get into the top 3 of each, and also at the end, we'll each have maybe a hot take prediction on what we see in the health, fitness, and nutrition wellness industry by the end of 2023. But off camera, before we started this, Mike, you brought up an interesting point, because even the term New Year's resolution is very polarized. And some people wait all year just to make that January 1st commitment. And then there's other people that kind of crap on that and say, well, why are you waiting till January 1st? There's no in between when it comes to these resolutions. So maybe you can kind of like expound on that a little bit more.
Yeah, it's just interesting to me when, especially around New Year's and the end of the year, everybody talks about, like, in the month of December, people will start talking about New Year's resolutions, and some people will crap all over them. Some people will say, oh, don't wait, which, right, don't wait. I understand that part of it. But at the same time, New Year's resolutions are a real thing. Like, it's a real new start. Like, you can't underestimate the power of that for someone. And for somebody who's in the space and in the fitness world, that's been living healthier, that's been doing all this stuff all the time and had a lot of success, or is maybe not success isn't the right word, but I think, like, if you work out every day and your New Year's resolutions, don't wait, just change your New Year's resolution or get healthy. But the way most people's brains work, I feel like they need that fresh start. It's why Monday, everybody starts their new goals on a Monday. Oh, I'll start Monday. Oh, I'll start Monday. Yes, you can argue that the mindset of that is not right, or why wait? Yeah, agreed. I totally agree with that. But there's also a lot of power in New Year's resolutions too. And in this year specifically, like, Monday was the 2nd. Everybody has their recovery day after New Year's Eve. And so the 1st is kind of a wash for most people, but Monday was the 2nd. And so people could jump right in with this fresh start. So I think that there's a lot of power in that, and just keeping it so that you actually set New Year's resolutions that set you up for success, and not have these wild, crazy goals. And I just feel like sometimes in the fitness space, especially in December, people kind of crap all over this idea of, oh, what, don't wait, start now. Yeah. But there's a lot of power in it. So, I mean, what do you think about the idea that there's a lot of power in this New Year's resolution? I mean, that's why people set so many all the time,
Yeah, I'm one of those people that crapped all over them for years and still kind of continue to do that.
Sure.
Here's what I look at, and might be because we're both gluttons for punishment. Obviously, many years in the wrestling business will tell you all you need to know about us being doing things the hard way, nothing the easy way. And then,
Right.
of course, as you heard probably or watched in episode one, if you haven't, please go back. We give our backgrounds and our motivation, essentially our mission statement for why we started this show. And even that we took years to do. So I can understand
Mhm.
resolutions in general or goals or plans that you keep procrastinating and talking yourself out of. I'm sort of the opposite way. Whenever I ever get a question about when to start, I usually say right now or get everything planned out, meal prep. If it's a Friday and you don't want to go to the gym or you don't want to go for a walk or do anything active, get your meal plan ready for the week. And then your
Mm.
Monday, you're off and running. You're already giving yourself really good fuel. If you can't wait till Monday to eat the good food, start eating it that day, and you will have the fuel for that. But people always looked at me sideways because I would say, do you know when you should start working out and trying to eat right? And they would say, when? I go, during the holidays. I
Mm.
go, you more than likely you'll fail. I understand that because there's always things available. But if you can at least have a percentage of a success rate in, I won't have that much soda. I'm not going to have sweets. I'm going to try to get enough protein in, and I am going to start working out. If you can even just start trying to do those things at the absolute hardest time, I'm using air quotes because any time is going to be hard, January, February, December, whatever. If you start at the very hardest part of the year, then January through November is going to be a cakewalk. That's at least the way I look at it. If you can stick with it from end of November to end of December and at least have a 50% success rate, man, you're
Sure.
already got a great foundation because now it's like the temptation just disappears after
Sure.
January. And you got a month of people, Mike, that are all cheering for each other to go to the gym, to get into shape, to make the goals happen. We have the drop off, but you will not only have the foundation, but the springboard in January that could carry you through the whole year.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. I mean, yeah, if you can absolutely make it through, even with a marginal success, at least you're trying, right? And then when it's hard and you're testing yourself, no, I could definitely see that point. For sure. That's a good time to start. Like when's the best time to start? Yesterday. Well, you're right. Like, like you need to start. You can't wait for your health goals. But yeah, it's one of those things that like you just got to start. And this New Year's resolution is a great time to do it. And it's if you didn't start in December, if you didn't start after Thanksgiving, if you didn't start before Thanksgiving, if you didn't start then, the power that comes with a New Year's resolution is big. It's just figuring out how to set those, because like I feel like that's where a lot of times people fail is they set New Year's resolutions that are not attainable, or they'll set something that's so far down the path. I was yesterday, I meet with a business coach once a month, once every month and a half, and we were talking about goals and what the goals were for this year and stuff. And there's this idea of setting a goal is cool, and you want to have a goal, but you got to dial it all the way back to the point where you set habits. So I feel like New Year's resolutions should be more around your daily habits and what you're focusing on your daily habits to get you to those goals. People will set a New Year's resolution of, I want to lose 10 pounds. Cool. All right. How are you going to get there? What are you going to do? Right. Like a better New Year's resolution for wanting to lose 10 pounds is, oh, I want to eat healthy every day. I want to cut out sugars. I want to cut out artificial sweeteners. I want to work out every single day. And now, if you do that and you set that New Year's resolution, then you're probably more likely to get to the point where you lose 10 pounds as opposed to just saying, oh, I want to lose 10 pounds. Right. So I mean, that's just my take with New Year's resolutions and how people approach this idea. There's a lot of power in it, and you should absolutely leverage that. If you didn't start ahead of time, leverage it now. And even if you miss the boat, like we're recording this in the first week of the year, this will release in the second week of the year. Well, even if you missed it, okay, we can start the next Monday, if or start today, whatever works. But I don't I just really, really think that this New Year's resolution idea is something that has a lot of power to it for most people that aren't already in that mindset, you know?
Well, then people aren't going to like that there's like 25 different calendars at least in the world. So you may not even have it. You may be doing your resolution in June on another calendar or whatever.
Sure.
That's another podcast that we can bring up where we
Sure.
do our rabbit holes. Here's my question though. You kind of answered it, but when it comes to working out, and you and I guess have broken through or crossed that Rubicon where it's just part of our lifestyle. It's just going to be a part of our day every single day, no matter what. Two questions. First one, with that being said, why in the world, like, do people just shudder when you say to them, like, you're going to be working out for the rest of your life? And they're like, oh my God, like they have a deadline on something that should be necessary for you to live a very long and hopefully healthy life.
Right.
It definitely won't hurt as long as you don't pay attention to future episodes, as long as you don't do some of the stuff Mike and I have done in the past with overtraining and everything. But that question, like, why do they get repulsed at the idea of, hey, this is a lifestyle now. It's more than a habit. It's every day of your life. And why specifically do they usually flame out? We used to call them leafers up in the Northeast. Like the leafers, they would just come look at the leaves in Vermont and then go back. The leafers
Sure.
at Planet Fitness and the gyms. And I never said it out loud because I never wanted to be mean or judgmental, but it was like, yeah, by the third week of January, that Planet Fitness or any other gym is empty. And January
Sure.
1st, the famously people to go to the gym all year round will usually work out at home or find another gym or go
Sure.
at like 3 a.m. to avoid the crowd for the first 2 to 3 weeks. Um,
Right.
and I've always been fascinated because I would be excited for these people that were there. The heavier they were, the bigger they were, I was more excited. They
Right.
got up, put their shoes on, put their clothes on, drove to the gym, and they're there at 5 a.m. But then, like, I am like at February 1st, I'm like, man, I wonder what got into their head
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
they didn't think it was worth it anymore.
Sure.
It's pretty
Sure.
long questions, but what do you think about those two things?
Well, I think part of the problem is people that, to your point, I absolutely agree that if someone comes in, you don't want to be mean and you don't want to be rude or downplay or the just the fact that somebody showed up is huge, right? Like just the fact that somebody took that step to better their lives, to live healthier, that's huge, and they should all be applauded for that. If you're somebody who goes to the gym and is there every single day and then hates January because all these other people come in, that's not cool. Like applaud them, support them, help them stick with those habits, you know, reach out to somebody. If you see somebody that's on a treadmill that doesn't know what they're doing, that's kind of lost and you can see it, maybe strike up a conversation and say hello and give them encouragement that the fact that they're here is awesome. Right. So I think to your question, what makes people fall off like that? I really think that it's because they bite off more than they can chew. You know, like you set these big goals and we've we've become so accustomed to quick fixes, and you know everybody just wants a pill, everybody just wants this quick fix, or oh I just got to do this for a couple weeks and then you know it'll be fixed, and if I've got 100 pounds to lose somehow magically I'm going to do that all in January and then I'll be set, right? And it's this mindset and this mentality of not adopting the lifestyle. I think sometimes in the fitness space, we're guilty of selling a quick fix. And trainers and nutrition programs, oh, just do this 21-day quick fix and you're all done. No, no, that's not what it is. You know, it's all, and because the way that, you know, a personal trainer will sell their services or all this kind of stuff, it's just like, hey, let's sell you this. And this is going to be the quick, or like in supplement space, it's sell you this fat burner and you're done. And then people expect those quick results because we don't set real expectations of what that is. And the reality is you have to adopt this lifestyle. And so a New Year's resolution is a great way to kickstart that, but it's not an end all be all. It's a, hey, let's kickstart your path towards long-term health and wellness. And now this is the progression that you're going to stick with for the rest of your life so that you can adopt those healthy habits and stay. And I think that's why people come February 1st, are gone because they didn't get the results they wanted right away. And they were sold this idea of, hey, just come work out for 30 days in January and you'll be all set. And then you can go about your way. And I think as fitness professionals, we as a community can do a better job of setting the expectation of this is not a quick fix. You took how many years to put on that 100 pounds? It's going to take you more than a month to take it off, you know?
At least a healthy way.
Right.
But it won't be. It's not. You might die if you try to drop 100 pounds in a month. But
Sure.
what I was gonna say too is that whole thing with hopefully our show will start to kind of like maybe change the tide of that quick fix type culture. I don't think it will, but hopefully enough people will search for common sense with that, because even my programs that I have up on the website, I roll my eyes when I see 12-week, the SRF 12-week program or the 16-week program. I wish I could create, like, Wendler is famous for not having like timestamps, or you have your cycles and your deload weeks, but essentially the Wendler philosophy is you can do Wendler 531 for the rest of your life.
Sure.
There's no like beginning, or there's a beginning, but there's no end to it. So like I've always wanted to create a program that was literally, I have it in my mind and in my heart to create like a 1 year program, because it's never been done. But here's your
Sure.
1 year. And I talk to people, like, not business coaches, but people that sell types of products and stuff, like people within the fitness industry, mostly gym equipment. And I say, what do you think? And they go, it's more than likely going to be a flop, because
Sure.
people are wired.
Yeah.
I need to know how long this will take to get into shape. If you
Right.
say 1 year, I'm going to look like shit until month 12,
Right.
not the improvement or progression or the fact that you could double or triple up the time to make it a 2 or 3 year program, almost Wendler like. So
Yeah.
that's the thing that I wish would change, but I think we're kind of heading towards, now you said the 21-day fix, people are going to want the 21-minute fix, because
Sure.
21 days is too long to wait.
Sure.
Much work involved. And that's
Yeah.
sad, because working out is fun.
Sure.
Getting on a roll and getting over that initial soreness or whatever that you have, it becomes the biggest addiction in the world, and the most, in my opinion, the most positive addiction you could ever have.
Yeah. No, I would agree with that. But it's switching that mindset for people. I think so many people are so conditioned to that quick fix on everything that they do that it's a bigger conversation than just in the fitness world. I mean, it's culture as a whole. We're so accustomed to everything needs to be at our fingertips, and Amazon, you can order it and be there this afternoon if you want, right? Like, and everything is just so quick
And
that we assume.
you lose your mind if it's not there in 4 hours, or if
Right.
Netflix buffers for 10 seconds, you're like, my God, my life is over.
Right. Yeah, no, it's totally true, dude. And it's this mindset that I think that the more that people become I think what we're learning is people need to understand a little more about their health. And not to jump the gun here on predictions for the year, but I think that the education around health and fitness and all the things that we're learning about what you have to do to be healthy every single day, I think that is going to be a huge thing moving forward. And if we can impart just a small piece of that to the people that are listening to this right now, that's going to be huge. Because if one person takes this and realizes, you know what, I'm not going to get that quick fix, I'm going to start with a quick program, like one of your programs, a 12-week program. I think 12-week programs are great, but they need to set the expectation of, hey, this is not a 12-week and done, not a 12-week and life is going to be perfect for the rest of your life. It's 12 weeks to get started. And now you repeat that 12 weeks, or you go to the next program or go to the next program. And it becomes the goal here for me. And what whenever I talk to somebody about fitness, it's about establishing daily habits to get you to the point where it just becomes a lifestyle now, right? Like, it's not about just getting a quick workout in. It's about a life. This is the lifestyle that you're going to live to be healthier every single day for the rest of your life. And I think the more that we can impart that on people, and if anybody can take this away from this, it's like the better everybody's going to be. Everybody's going to live healthier because you realize, no, this isn't a quick fix. This is a lifestyle thing. You don't have to be the person that goes in the gym and works out for 6 hours a day. That's not what we're asking. 30 minutes a day. Like it, and you don't even have to do it every day, but most days of the week, more days than not, more days than not, you need to get in the gym and do something, or go outside and go for a walk. If you're at home, move your body for 30 minutes. It's not super difficult, and you don't have to set the expectations so high that you can't achieve them.
Yeah, and there's never been a better time to not spend money. And this is probably where we're not very good as salespeople, but you can look on YouTube. Now, you won't have the direction that a program will give you, or a trainer, or people that can guide you and protect you from yourself. But you sure as hell can say, okay, I want to do chest on Monday. I want to do back. I want to do, and you look on YouTube for these workouts, and you can piece together an entire regimen that you can do for a while. The thing I talked to my wife, and this is the thing I think that turns people off a lot from from especially weightlifting, it seems, but mostly fitness, is the fact that it's skills training. And when you lift, you have to progress, and you have to get stronger, or you have to pre-exhaust you have to do certain techniques. That's way too deep for this episode. But when I explained to my wife, like, she's like, well, yeah, I've seen you doing the same workout over the past 4 to 5 or 6 weeks. And I go, well, not technically the same. The exercises are, I'm adding like 5 pounds, or just like slow progression, but also my form, and also different things. I'm almost practicing these workouts to work my muscles. I had to change my mindset, because variety sometimes is not the spice of life with fitness. Repetition and mastery of the form of the skills. And that's why I tried to say, I go, in some ways, working out, honestly, can be boring to people. But when you start to see the results, and you start to put the work in, you almost become obsessed with going back to those same like foundational exercises to get stronger, to get better, to look better, to use isometrics, to hold, rest, pause. There's all this stuff in between that we're going to cover on this show in future episodes, that it'll open up a whole world, rather than your 2-second up, 2-second down rep. You can, it'll blow your mind. So please stay tuned for that. But I think if the expectation is that you're doing more skills-based muscle work, I'm making up words, instead of you're working out, getting into shape, and your body will adapt in 2 to 3 weeks, and you need to change it up all the time. That confuses people, because now it's very much, and I don't know, I sort of went that way with the super variety and workouts of the days, and you've dealt with CrossFit athletes way more than me. But I'm into a groove of, this is what I like, this is what doesn't hurt my body, this is what does hurt my body, and I'm not going to do it. And I feel like I'm at the sweet spot, and I think people have to break through the barrier of what you just said. And when it becomes a lifestyle and a habit, and you realize, oh, wow, I can treat my body as a lab experiment. And I can do research on my body as if it's a, whatever that I'm doing research on, write stuff down, look at things, take pictures. And now you're fully invested in the journey, rather than 12 weeks. I better be in shape, and forget about that gym. I'm done with that. That's over with now, which I think people back in their mind. It's like, after those 12 weeks, that trainer gets me into shape, and I'm done. Now I can go back to living my life. I'm trying to get your throat a break, but now I'm losing my voice.
Oh, no, it's good. And but I think to your point, like, there's so many different modalities out there that people can try. There's so much out there that people just don't like. You set a New Year's resolution of, I want to lose weight and I'm going to go to the gym, but you don't know what to do. And so getting a coach, finding a trainer, following someone, there's so much free content available for people to go and just pick someone and follow it for a little bit. And, either spend $20 on a quick program, find free programs. There's plenty of free programs. There's plenty of free workouts out there that are available for people to try, and just pick one and do it for a little bit. And if you don't like it, do something else, because there's so many different ways that you can become healthy and become fit. Like there's different communities. There's the bodybuilding community. If you want to be a bodybuilder and you want to build a bunch of muscle, you can work out like a bodybuilder. Okay. If you want to do CrossFit, you can do CrossFit. If you're scared to death of CrossFit and you're intimidated by it, just get in the gym and do some cardio. Like there's so many different ways to tackle getting in shape. There's so many different ways to go after that. And you just got to try one. If you like it, great, stick with it. If you don't like it, try something new and be okay with trying something new. Give it a couple weeks, see if you like it. And if you like it, then stick with it, because it's more about consistency than it is about the program you're doing. If you don't want to do CrossFit, don't do CrossFit. It's fine. Not everybody has to do CrossFit. If you don't want to lift like a meathead, then don't lift like a meathead. It's not that big a deal, right? It's just about being in there, being consistent and continuing to do it, and being open to trying new things, because there's a million different ways that you can work out, and finding your resources. If you follow somebody online, watch what they're doing. Like people post workouts all the time. If you just scrolled Instagram for 10 minutes, you could find probably 20 different workouts to do. Just write them down real quick. And then now you've got a week of working out done.
Yeah, I think we're definitely going to do an episode on social media with the fitness industry.
Yeah.
That's going to be calling us, because that's a dangerous thing. We talked about it before, off and on camera,
Sure.
that can also, you got to be very careful about who you pick. This is something you got to do a lot of research on trainers, their backgrounds, what they have. Not everybody necessarily needs certifications are great, but we have a opinion about that might differ as well. So we'll get to we can go on forever about this stuff. We have
Sure. Yeah.
episodes. So let's get to the New Year's resolutions. I kind of put the top 3 thing on you about 5 minutes before we started recording. So I gave you plenty of time to think about it. Who wants to go first? Do you want me to go?
That means
first?
you have to go first.
Means I have to go first, of course. Okay. Got it. I'm no
Got it.
I was no more ready than you were at the beginning.
Yeah, that's all right.
That's probably the first thing that I want to tell you, and I talked about in episode 1, and it's going to be a recurring theme, and it's a struggle within myself that I've had such a tendency to overtrain throughout my life. And let me explain why I've done this. And I know that basically the resolution is I want to kind of put that in the past and train smart, not just hard and emotionally, and trying to prepare for an appearance or a show. And that was the big thing. What kind of put me into this overtraining phase that keeps popping back into my life is anytime that I have any kind of public appearance, or when I wrestled, or anything else where I have to be around a lot of people, and I'm essentially in my mind judged if I still look the same, if I'm still in shape. I start to have I screw with my own mind. So I started training like Rocky, like 1 to 2 weeks before the thing, maybe 4 weeks. And I just find myself with so much fatigue. Also, I find myself losing a lot of muscle mass, or even some vascularity, and becoming skinny fat from too much cardio. And I've done that. I know this show is one of those things too, where my time not working out is spent working out my mind and trying to figure out workflows and trying to do more business related stuff, getting
Sure.
outdoors a lot more. So the overtraining thing is going to be it's going to be a thing that comes up quite a bit on this show, but that's probably my top personal New Year's resolution, is to really embrace working out the right way, and then
Sure.
not trying to have all my results within one workout type thing.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. And now I'll go now. So you don't have to do all 3 years in a row. Yeah, no, that's good. No, I think that is a great thing to focus on. Just keeping it consistent and not doing the overtraining. I don't
want to do
necessarily
cardio right now. I'm not lying to you. I want to do cardio right now. Just talking about working out makes me want to work out.
just so you look good on camera.
Oh, I'm not even. I mean, this is the only camera I'm.
Sure.
I guess as long as I can just do this. See, now I'm good. I can just.
Hey, there you go. Just angle it up a little bit, and we're all good. No worries.
Maybe where it wasn't even level. This stupid iMac.
No, that's funny.
What's your?
That's a good one. Okay, so my top New Year's resolution or top goal for the year is to get in the best shape of my life. Like I've always kind of ebbed and flowed back and forth. And I've always been a big guy. And so like it's never, I never really had to work that hard to be big, you know, because I've just been big my whole life. And there's this big man complex, or not, maybe not a complex, but syndrome, where things just come naturally and easily to you. And it hasn't been until the last couple of years that I really figured out I got to work hard for stuff, you know, because it's fitness as you get older, it gets harder. It just does. Like, let's be real. And so this year I'm going to be turning 40, and I want to be in the best shape of my life. I've never felt uh, confident enough to walk around with my shirt off, because I've always had a little extra around my midsection, and I've always hated it. And, you know, in the wrestling ring, I've always worn a singlet because of that reason, because I always want to hide whatever I got going on in my midsection. And so this year, my focus is getting to the point where I can walk around with the shirt off and feel good about how I look, and feel good about the fact that I'm walking around with no shirt on, you know, just even if it's just for my wife, I don't care. Like, I just want to feel better about how I look in the mirror. And it might be vain of me to feel that way, but I don't care, because that's my goal this year, is to get in the best shape of my life.
And you're giving yourself almost 12 months to get to that point. And also, my guess is that when you get to that point, you're not going back to where you are now. You're going to stay
Sure.
consistent. So you have a 12-month goal, which is plenty of time. You lose an average of 1 to 2 pounds a week and get your
Sure.
body fat down over a year. That's a lot of weight.
You know, I want to be, my birthday's in March, and I'd like to be pretty close to where I want to be physically by then. I know that's only a couple months, but I've been doing a couple programs where I'm following a program. I just finished up a 13-week program, and I'm going into another 13-week program
You
that
have
will
the
lead me up.
XND challenge, right? Isn't that coming up?
Oh yeah, XND 63. Yep. There's that's a accountability thing to develop those habits that we were talking about. And that's something that, you know, like it's a great program for, like we were just talking about, the kickstarting your path towards health and wellness, getting developing those habits, all the things that a newer person needs to do. XND 63 is a great program for that. And, you know, it probably, most people haven't heard of it. It's very similar to 75 hard. A lot of people have heard about the 75 hard program, where you're just focused on 6 habits throughout the 75 days. XND 63 is the same approach, kind of, but in a progression. And so you build habits on top of uh, each phase. There's 3 phases. By the end of the 63 days, you developed 8 new habits, and hopefully you are finally on a path towards living healthier for the long haul. And so I've done it. I've gone through it. I always I'll redo it to get myself more focused in. And so I'm redoing that. At the time of this recording, I'm starting on Monday, but when this actually airs, I will have started and be a couple days into the 63 days. But there's a training program that I follow as far as the what workouts I'm doing in that, because 63 is XMD 63 is not, we don't give you a training program. It's just the accountability and helping you progress through it. So the training program I follow is, I've already seen a lot of results. I feel like I've put on some mass. I've leaned out a little bit, but I'm just not quite there yet. So hopefully by March, I will be very close to where I want to be. And then the goal is by the middle of the year to be absolutely where I want to be. You know, we got a pool at our house, and I don't want to have the neighbors coming over seeing fat Mike sitting there.
Did you use that as an ice bath with the cold weather out there?
I haven't. It's too cold. It's probably frozen salad right now.
You can do some ice fishing in your pool.
Yeah, right.
No, it's a great one. And I think, listen to what Mike said, everybody. Listen and watch. Obviously, if you're watching on YouTube, he's giving goals that are not 21 days, that are not 30 days. And then you said 2 months, and you still sort of cringed a little bit, like that's dangerous thinking, because you want beyond your
Sure.
birthday in March. This is a lifestyle change. This is a habit change. And, to be able to, even after all the experience you have with the XND 63, the accountability thing, you're going to go through it again,
Sure.
because you need to rewire your brain, rewire your mindset, and start over just like a new person. So I think that's a great message for everybody out there. that it's like I've always talked about working out like technology. If I didn't touch this computer or the software or anything else in 6 months or a year, and I come back to it, it's like, oh wait, I remember a little bit, but I have to relearn how to video edit. Oh, they updated the software, they did
Sure.
this changed that, and but your muscle memory will eventually bring you back to where you need to be.
Right.
So for anybody that even is resetting their fitness journey, it's never too late. You're not too far gone. You're not you can pick it back up. This is literally not rocket science. It's science based, but it's not complicated. If
Sure.
guys like us can do it, everybody can.
Yeah. Agreed.
I'm buying
Agreed.
time for number two. Try.
Yeah, and shameless plug, X&D 63 program is a great program for anybody that's new that wants to start out and get on a path towards long-term health and wellness. Link in the comments.
Yeah, I brought it up, so it wasn't you
Yeah,
plugging.
no.
So if you bring my stuff up, I'll bring your stuff up. It's not technically a plug, so we're
Yeah.
sure
Okay.
that
Fair
so
enough.
on. My resolution number two, and like I said, this doesn't have to be health, fitness related or anything. I like to do hard things, difficult things that I'm not good at. And obviously that's why fitness and everything is where I'm at a lot. But I've been an editor, a video editor, and I've tried to talk to you about this with Final Cut Pro for many, many years, been comfortable with it, and actually have just plateaued. It doesn't mean I'm at the top of the game of editing. It just means I plateaued. I got used to my editing kind of workflow. I've switched it up a little bit. I've used plugins and become a little lazy sometimes with that. But I really want to learn how to proficiently work within all of the features of DaVinci Resolve. Talking about being able to really tell a story more than just a review of, hey, welcome back to the garage gym. Here's segment, to really try to tell an innovative story as I'm reviewing something, give a little bit of personal stuff, maybe throw a little vlog, just kind of spice it up and do that. But DaVinci Resolve has pretty much all the features I would want to have everything on one pane, especially on a 24-inch iMac. Cut the media page, cut page, edit page. You also have a color page. You have Fusion, which is basically motion graphics you can create and create all these different effects. And then you're able to like deliver multiple things like what Apple does with compressor. And I think Adobe's media encoder, where you can throw in a bunch of stuff and render out like your
Yeah.
regular YouTube video, your social media portrait, the clips, this and that. But it's hard, and there is a learning curve. It's literally one of those deals like you probably did with Premiere Pro and I did with Final Cut many years ago. You close that studio door and you lock yourself in the room for the entire day or weekend. You only come out to eat and use the restroom and sleep, but you are in front of the computer immersed in it like a
Sure.
workshop. So that's my goal. I want it. DaVinci Resolve is very powerful for everybody out there that wants to edit video. There's a free tier and also there's a paid studio tier. The free one has a lot of features, mostly all the features that I get in the studio version when I paid. But if you want to really take it to the next level off an iMovie or whatever other kind of Filmora or what it was, Sony Vegas, DaVinci Resolve is an excellent, excellent option. And I've sucked so bad at it because I haven't stuck with it. So 2023, I am not only going to become a better video editor and a better storyteller, I'm going to do that using a program that I absolutely suck at. But it's not the program's fault, it's user error. So
Sure.
you're not used to that in 2023. Me blaming people blaming themselves for something and not everybody else. Wow.
Yeah, that's a new concept.
So what's yours? Number two.
So my second thing kind of goes with trying hard things. Like I feel like sometimes you get a little too comfortable with the conveniences in life. And I started a while back taking cold showers every morning. And that was something that was hard. It's not fun to take a cold shower. It's not fun to do a cold plunge, like there's a big rage about people, you see, if you look on social media, there's a lot of people posting about cold plunges and all this kind of things. And they're not fun to do, but they're hard. And I think we need to constantly test ourselves and try new things, try hard things so that we can be more resilient and get tougher. And that's something that this year that I really want to focus on is, okay, so I've adopted doing cold showers. I take a cold shower almost every single morning, about 5 minutes in a cold shower. And in the Midwest, when you're in winter, the ground is cold, the water is extra cold. So the last, month or so, the cold showers have been very, very cold. So that's something that I want to continue to do, but then I want to find more things to do that are hard, new skills, new things that I've never done. Last year, I started taking a jujitsu class. Was very hard for me, but then I moved and so I wasn't near the gym. Would like to find a new place to do that this year. Other skills like running is something as a big guy I've never liked to do. I would like to force myself to get uncomfortable and learn running. It's just, I don't want to, but I feel like I have to because it's just something hard for me to do. So there's other things that I'm hoping that over the course of this year will just kind of present themselves, but that's my goal, is to find hard things and embrace them and embrace the fact that I suck at them, and do them anyways, so that it challenges me, helps me get tougher, helps my brain continue to evolve and grow, and just helps me become better every single day.
Yeah, you talk about the quick fixes. People seem to be afraid to be bad at anything
Sure.
and not realize you're going to get better if you're continually bad and continually show up and try. What's the thing? I told my wife the other day, because she feels like sometimes there's not enough time to pursue her outside interest, business, career, stuff that she wants to. But somebody had said, if you just take 15 to 18 minutes every day and you do the hard thing, same for my wife, she wants to do voiceover. So you put in auditions, you practice, you do your whatever exercises you need to do to warm up, and it definitely audition and try to get work. If you do that for your 15 to 18 minutes every single day, 7 days a week, it's not you're not punching a clock. You're trying to further your business. They said after that, those minutes and hours, if you stick with that, not even for a year, like 6 months, you'll be ahead of like 95% of other people at field, because you just kept showing up, and it's much like working out. Dude, my workouts, going back to what you said before, like I'll do cardio more because my back needs to loosen up, my knees when I wake up. So when I do cardio, it's usually anywhere from 20 to 40 minutes, depending upon how I feel.
Sure.
And if I'm working up a really, really good sweat, I'm ready to go. But my weights have significantly cut down. So if I'm doing say just chest, and I put abs in after our core more specifically, we're talking about maybe max 20, 25 minutes for both, because I'm working out lighter and I'm resting shorter, or I'm putting supersets or drop sets, or in the case when I do shoulder, I like doing shoulders and arms together. Just feels good right now.
Sure.
I'll do that in a circuit, and that's 3 body parts. And usually I won't do core that day because there's 3 body parts, and my shoulder and my neck are already kind of tweaked a little bit. So doing ab rollers and stuff could hurt me. Another thing
Sure.
to realize, know your limitations.
Sure.
Don't be a hero. We didn't say that in the beginning about working out. Don't be a hero. But I'm getting more results off of one workout a day. It is 7 days a week. I don't take days off. The cardio's whatever, but we're talking about 13 minutes minimum to maybe 22, 25 minutes maximum. And that's just with core. So if it was just a body part, 15, 18 minutes maybe.
Yeah.
And only one workout compared to 2 workouts a day, not more than 3 months ago. And my results have been astronomically better. So less is more. So
Yeah.
back to your thing, that's a quality workout. People think, oh, I can be in and out in 20 minutes. That's easy.
Sure. Yeah.
So
That's good.
that's it. I stepped over your number 2.
No, that was it, man. I was done. That was it. I think that's good. So what's your number 3?
I was buying time for number 3. That's what I was doing. My number 3 resolution is to have 3 resolutions next year. No, it's just really, and it sounds so cliche. It's why we started the show. And like, it's an overarching theme. I only know if it's number 3, but it is really trying to serve others, trying to realize how blessed you and I are and other people aren't. and trying to make ourselves available to maybe make somebody's life a little bit better on some
Sure.
way, shape, or form. I don't know exactly what that is, but the opportunities, I assume, present themselves to us every day, and it's whatever we do with them. So, is that a health, fitness, wellness thing? Yeah, I think when you're out there and trying to make the world a better place, even by holding a door open for somebody or asking somebody if they're okay, or, paying something forward to somebody, is a pretty big deal. And I feel pretty good when I do that. I do it for reasons to help other people, but it also makes me feel fulfilled and makes me feel like I can make a great video. I can do this show with you. But man, if I made a difference in someone else's day to some extent, there's nothing more fulfilling. And that could be my wife, could be my cats, could be one of my great friends like you, could be anybody, or it could be a complete stranger.
Sure.
If you have that on your mind and in your heart as you're going about your daily day, if people did that, the world would be a lot better. It sounds so cliche, like I said in the beginning, Mike, but man, mindset. You think the world is an absolute shitty place, it's always going to be a shitty place. And
Sure.
I'll do a 3A and a 3B. The 3A is that, but the 3B that goes along with it is that I need to stop watching these YouTube videos or even listening to certain things that are negative and
Mm,
toxic and all different things. And I need to, like, if I am going to pick up the phone or look at the computer or the TV, whatever I turn on has to help me with those hard skills that we're trying to learn this year.
yeah.
Has to be a tutorial, has to be a course, has to be something that I can, help my wife out with her business. It has to have meaning. And if it's just clickbaity or something like that, or mindless type stuff to look at, I have to avoid it, because what do you do with Instagram reels and YouTube shorts? Scroll, 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 scroll. Before you know it, 15, 20 minutes are up. And there's that 15, 20 minutes each day that you could have learned that skill to get ahead of everybody else. So
Right.
those things paired together are number three for me.
Yeah. No, that's good. Those are good ones. Yeah. The negativity that gets into our heads because of what we consume is just it's amazing how your entire mood can change based on what it is that you're consuming all the time. If you sit and watch the news, your feeds off of negativity, so you're a negative person all the time. So that's a great resolution. I don't feed into a lot of that, but I do find myself sometimes kind of going down rabbit trails, and I'm just like, whoa, you got to pull out of that, Mike. You can't stick in that headspace for too long. So that's good. I
The
like
title of this episode is that Stevie Richards destroys Mike Behrens' career.
it.
Video.
Yeah, when people click it, they'll be like, "Who's Mike Behrens?"
Do you watch? I watch the sports ones though. I love football. NFL is my favorite sport, has been. But I was like the ESPN ones and the third party ones where they kind of like put it in the little box and tilt it so they don't get the copyright strike. Do you ever see those where it's like Ryan Clark loses it at the Indianapolis Colts store, goes crazy, and Paul? I know, like, there was like 2 days where I clicked on those and I was like, oh my God, this person did. Ryan Clark's not in the video. The Colts aren't in the video. No, nobody's in
It's just straight
the video.
clickbait. Yeah.
Classic clickbait. So that's three for
That's the
me.
best.
So,
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so my third, and I was kind of thinking about while you were talking a little bit. My third one is to bet on myself. I think for a long time I have, and what I mean by that is I have second guessed myself as uh someone who can go out and achieve all the goals and my skill set and am I good enough and all that kind of stuff. And I think for me this year, I'm finally like, yeah, you are good enough, dude. Like, go do it and bet on yourself for the things that you're doing. It's kind of the what prompted this to a certain extent was, all right, I'm finally ready to bet on myself and what I bring to the table. And I want to bring value into the world. And I know what I have, that I can bring a lot to help people. And I think for me this year, it's to stop second guessing my value, stop second guessing, am I good enough? Stop second guessing the things that I do, and just bet on yourself. Because every time, and like if I look in my history, every time I've bet on myself, I've had success and I've won, like, but it's the times where I second guess and it's just like, and then it doesn't work. So for this year, for me, it's betting on myself with what I bring to the table and to bring value into the world to help people change their lives and uh, live healthier all the time. So yeah, that's my third resolution is betting on myself.
I think all six of them are basically crossing over. We both feel the same way. So these are essentially all six have to do with both of us and hopefully a lot of people out there. But yeah, I mean, that's something with me. I just had the conversation with my wife yesterday. So where we do these shows and we're kind of linked mind wise to it because I said to my wife, I go, I need for you to tell me from time to time when I start to, because this is brand new for me too, for both of us, even though I've been doing other categories of podcasting. And I said, I'm getting nervous about recording with Mike tomorrow because I'm like, is anybody going to listen? Does anybody
Mm,
care? I'm excited about it, but I'm starting to get in my head like, who's gonna listen to me about this stuff? I'm not, whatever person it's considered to be an expert out
sure.
there. And also at the point of, do I have enough to carry my end of the show? Do I have enough to make this professional? And am I gonna, hopefully Mike's not gonna get tired of me joking all the time about whatever. Those kinds of things happen to both of us.
Sure.
I think that's the basis too. And people who have escaped this from the wrestling business, I give them all the credit in the world. I believe we're two of those people. There's still people today that are waiting for the call, that are waiting for
Sure.
certain things to be handed to them. And the scariest thing is when you do wake up and bet on yourself. But it's also the only thing we can really control. We can
Yeah.
control. We wake up each and every morning and try to make this business work that we have, both of
Sure.
our businesses. And also, it's so exciting to know that there's no cap. You don't have to wait to be booked. You don't have to wait for the call. You don't have to, when you get there, take, okay, well, I'm only getting really 20% of what I really can do in this show or segment or match or whatever, not really being showcased to what I can offer this company.
Sure.
Now, when we wake up, if we only give 20%, whose fault is that?
Right. Right.
So it is I'm too, we're the same way. I second guess myself every day on a lot of things. I don't do it for very long, but there's that voice there all the time. That's like,
Yeah.
are you sure you can do this?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. Like, and it's something that it just I think it's not just us. I think it's a lot of people. You second guess that kind of confidence isn't just innate in people, and I feel like you have to. It's a learned thing, and some people have it, some people don't. But even the people who have it, they still deep down are probably second guessing themselves somewhere. And I think it's a couple, like, it's part of the passion that we have to just want to be better and make sure that we're good enough and have that question answered that we are good enough. So we think all the time, and the show, doing this, it's, yeah, scared to death about betting on myself this year, but I know that if I know once I can overcome that fear and push through that initial fear, that initial being scared, I know that it will be better in the long run. And for both of us, once we can push through this thing that's been holding us back forever, it will be better we'll both come out better on the other side, because we've been through so much in the past. I've been through so much. I know you've been through so much, and we've all come out better because of it. And now if we fully step into who we are and stop second guessing and really bet on ourselves, uh, we're in control at that point, like sky's the limit at that point. So yeah, that's, to me, I think, to sum up this year, it's just really making that, because like I think all of our resolutions, if you go back through all six of those, they all come down to us betting on ourselves and being better every single day and just trying to be better and then set an example and help other people live healthier every single day too.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think what you said about fear. Now, for everybody that's listening or watching, this is like considered to be sort of a private conversation, at least on the fear basis, because when we meet with companies or I'm contacting them or you're trying to make deals and do things and have business done, they don't know we're afraid. They don't know we're second guessing. We don't walk in and go, well, I'm nobody, but can you please just work with me? We're not cocky, but we also are very confident what we can bring to that. We have to suppress that fear for that. And almost in a way, I don't know what you do, but I can be Stevie Richards. It sounds crazy. It's going to make me sound insane. I can be
No,
Stevie Richards in front of those people and talk, be very confident because that persona and that character has been in front of tons of people under high
for
pressure.
sure.
Michael Manna kind of, I don't know,
Yeah,
still but they do level off those two sides of me that this guy doesn't get too cocky. This one doesn't pull this one down too much. So it's a good
sure,
balance. And without fear, there is no courage. Sounds
sure.
very cliche, but that's what I say. Well, of course I'm afraid. I'm sure everybody else is. And if I
Yeah,
could just, either I'm going to do it or not do it. If I don't do it, I know exactly what's going to happen. If I do it, man, it could be beyond anything I could imagine, the
yeah,
success.
yeah.
So
Totally. And we're not afraid in those conversations when we're talking, making deals and stuff. There's no fear there, right?
as a matter of fact, my wife, I had a sports marketing high school class the other day, and I was very nervous because the kids are all looking at their phones and not paying attention. But apparently, the teacher said they loved it. They just always look at their phones and they never look up. So, but they were very invested. And what I had, I forgot what I was going to say. The CTE finally kicked in an episode
Yeah.
too. Uh, but I was taught. Oh, what I had said to them was, I go, this is going to sound. I didn't say it to him actually. I'm going to say it in the next one. But I always say to my wife, she laughs at me because I'll email companies about working with them and reviewing product or trying to figure out an affiliate relationship. And if they don't want to do a video call or they don't kind of put that out there right there, I will either call them right away on the phone and introduce myself and say, hey, I know I just emailed or you just emailed me back. I wanted to talk to you and I wanted you to put a voice to the email, and I would love to have a video call so we could put a face and talk like that. I go, I work a lot better like that. And 9 times out of 10, it will close the deal or start the relationship because what do most people do? They email or they text and they don't ever
Yeah.
try to get the extra thing. So for everybody else's fear, that comes very natural. And it could be a generational thing because my wife's younger to me. She's like, I'd never do that. I'm like, I do it all the time. I don't like
Sure.
mail and stuff, but that's what I want to tell them next time is the reason why I do that is because nobody does it. And I go in
Yeah.
my wrestling career, the reason why I cornered so many markets and got TV time, cornered like character markets and got so much TV time is because I did this shit that nobody else wanted to do because they didn't want to show vulnerability or be
Sure.
silly or do any of that stuff. So it's a little lesson for everybody out there. Look at what everyone else is doing and do the exact opposite if there's a
Sure.
space there for you. So I'll get off my soapbox. I'm trying to
No,
protect.
that's good. I mean, it all ties into the fear piece of it. So like it's good. It's very good.
All right. So I'm going to let you go first this time. I gave you enough time with the resolutions. What
Okay.
is your major prediction or any prediction in general for the industry by the end of 2023?
So my take on the fitness industry, and maybe this isn't a prediction, more so of what I hope and I think needs to happen in the fitness space, is more transparency and more credibility for the people that are speaking. I think like so many people, because of social media, everybody has a platform, which is great, but also not great. And figuring out who's telling the truth and who's being credible, and I think the education of the consumer is where the industry needs to go. You can't continue to sell the hype of a 13-day challenge or a 21-day challenge. You can't sell hype anymore. You have to educate the consumer. You have to educate the people that are in the space and educate them on why this happens. And I hope that in 2023 and beyond, that the fitness space becomes more transparent and people become more open to being honest about what it is that they're doing. And I don't mean just from a steroid perspective. I mean from a fitness perspective. I mean the programs that you're doing. If you're going to sell, like if you sell band programs, a 12-week band program, resistance band program, well, then maybe you should probably do a resistance band program in your workouts, right? Like, but if you sell me a resistance band program and you've never done a resistance band program, you're kind of faking it, right? Like, I'm not saying that it's impossible, but you've got to have some level of credibility in what you're saying in the supplement space. If you talk about products, but you can't, one, pronounce them correctly, or you have to read directly off the label to know what it is, how credible is that? You know, like it to me, it's very, very frustrating to see that current. I keep hitting my microphone. Sorry if it's getting noise for everybody listening. It's very frustrating to me to see that in this space, people just pull things out of their ass and say whatever they can, even though they have no idea what it is that they're talking about. And then it gets to the point where you're saying this thing, you're saying this thing. People are making claims across the board that just aren't real. And so I hope that in 2023, and from moving forward, that the fitness space just becomes more transparent, more education driven, and more people like establish their credibility and show how credible they are, and that those people rise to the top, and all these fake influencers that do steroids or have the ab implants or all these kind of things just kind of fall by the wayside, because there really is a shift that needs to happen where we genuinely care about the health of the people that we're talking to, as opposed to just trying to sell something.
Well, I mispronounce everything with my Philly accent, so I can't. Like the most simple of things. I'm not even gonna. Last week we lucked out with two words that I said correctly multiple times.
True.
That probably will never be repeated during the whole history of the show moving forward. But you're absolutely right. Is that more of a hope than a prediction?
Oh, totally. Like I feel like it has to. And I feel like the people that embrace the credibility and the honest and the transparency, those people will rise to the top. The ones that don't will fall fast. They might get a level of success, but ultimately they will fall and they will become an afterthought, because the more that you can be transparent and honest with somebody, the more that person's going to buy into you. Like, you have to come across credible and honest when you talk to people, and brand loyalty is the thing that people are going to fall in love with your brand because you're a credible person, as opposed to this lifestyle that you're selling, that you're trying to constantly sell things, but then you don't live the truth. You know, the Liver King is a great example of somebody who a lot of people were buying into his hype and what he was selling, to now a lot of people have fallen off. He's still very popular. I'm not trying to take anything away from him, and who am I to talk about him? But at the same time, there's a level of credibility that's gone now with him. And so I think people who live the lifestyle, are credible in what they say, those are the people that will rise to the top. Maybe not this year, maybe not next year, maybe 5 years down the road it's going to take, but ultimately the brands that do that as well. You know, in the supplement space where I come from, there's a lot of brands that sell healthy lifestyle, but don't put healthy things in their products. And to me, once the education of the consumer gets out there, those brands will, if they don't change course, will fall off, because they're going to realize that these brands have been putting garbage ingredients that are not good for their health in their products the whole time, but selling health and fitness. And so I think that's a hope that everybody gets to that point.
I have the same hope, and even a percentage of that happening would be great. You know, because we have a whole generation, I think, that's coming up that, unfortunately, I don't think they're raised to be critical thinkers.
Sure.
And they will believe. And I think that's why the rise of the Liver King and other people, because that generation is taking it all at face value. And anybody that has any bit of experience working out to any level is going to look and say, no, that guy's, that guy's talk about that guy's between your age and my age.
Sure.
So, and I think there's going to be, I know for a fact, as long as you're okay with it, there's going to be an episode where we talk about steroids, and we'll probably touch on our wrestling careers and maybe the mental aspect of how that affected us. It affected me greatly. And that contributed a lot to the overtraining aspect, because I never think about that part. I think about they must be working harder than I am.
Sure.
And it fostered a lot of crazy thinking. on my
Sure.
part,
Yeah.
so hyper accountability, I would say. Nothing bad, but dangerous. So
Sure.
I'm trying to think of my prediction as I buy time.
Yeah.
What my prediction is, and this is stuff I've dealt with, and I think I'm going to make a YouTube video about old school workout equipment versus new school, meaning your old school bars and plates and stuff like that, even all one trainers and benches, comparatively speaking to the new AI type of
Mhm.
workouts, your subscription based online classes. I have a Tempo Studio that has 3D camera, all these different things. I feel like now that a lot of stuff is on a subscription model, and we're kind of past the past 2 to 3 years of people being in their homes so much. I feel like we're going to get back to the older model of health and fitness. I feel like there's probably still going to be an uptick, hopefully, in my business of home and garage gyms and things like that. But I think people are going to say, okay, the subscriptions are killing me. The money's too tight. It already costs two or three or four or $5,000 to buy the actual hardware, which is useless without the subscription and the
Sure.
technology. So I think I'm going to go buy a pair of Power Block dumbbells. I think I'm going to go buy an all-one trainer. I think I'm just going to buy a barbell and some plates and a regular Olympic bench, and I'm going to do Wendler 531. I'm going to go back to the
Yeah.
basics of what there is. And I feel like more from a financial perspective, that people are just going to be like, I can't afford to pay 3 grand and then 600 to $1,000 a year for the subscription.
Yeah.
And then what's next year going to look like? Am I going to be even more strapped for cash? I think I'm going to pay 3 grand. I'm buying myself a piece of cardio. I'm buying myself a power rack, plates and barbells and dumbbells, and I'm done for the rest of my life. I think that trend
Right.
will be coming back
Yeah.
to the fitness world.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good. I think that's a good thing. And I think the your home gym piece of it, there, I feel like more and more people are wanting home gyms. At least when I talk to people, they see what I have at my house, and they're like, "Oh wow, what'd you do here?" And I'm like, "Yeah," and it just makes sense. So yeah, I think that's a spot on prediction.
I don't think people are ever going to put themselves in a position. It might come back somewhat, but I don't think people are going to lull themselves into being caught off guard again and being told, you're not allowed to go to the gym anymore.
Mm,
And
yeah.
we don't know when you can go back, like never again. And that's, I think, is so much. If you take anything out of the past 2 to 3 years, people took their fitness journeys into their own hands. They could have sat there, and some people did, sat there and did nothing until they were allowed to work out again. But a lot of
Right.
people said, screw it, I got an extra bedroom, I got a garage, we're clearing it out. And I'm never gonna be, you're never gonna tell me not to go to the gym again.
Right.
That's where
Right.
we're at, I think, which is good.
Yep.
I think it's
Yeah.
really good.
Yep. Yep. I agree. I agree completely there.
All right, so we managed to find we managed to come up with three things and then our predictions, and we didn't we bought each other time. So thank you for that.
Yeah,
Because
we got to figure it out.
I didn't have everything even after I decided that's what we were going to do. But by the way, the fact that we're on Anchor.fm, which made it super easy, we're available on Apple now. We're available on Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, bunch of things. So check the link in the description below, all the links in the description below if you're watching on YouTube. Also, follow us on Instagram as well as Twitter and social media. We will be putting those links to different platforms up. Uh, but also, you can leave us a voice message. And that's where we're
Yeah.
getting to our very first question here. We've gone
Yeah.
over an hour. Is that okay? How's your
Yeah.
voice?
Yeah. Yeah.
You good?
Good. I'm good, man. I'm good. I had a cough drop earlier. I've been drinking water, so we're good.
All right, here's our first question here, which is awesome because this has a lot to do with what you talked about off the air. And my wife actually brought this up yesterday because she was considering doing this. This is from Random. I don't know if that's his real name. Uh, he watched the first episode on the YouTube channel. So thank you for watching that. Here's the question. Would you all recommend doing national NASM or ISSA certifications for trying to become a better trainer or starting out and wanting to help people out like we do or like you all? That's very nice. Hopefully we're helping people. So what's your opinions on those two certifications And what's your opinion on certifications in general?
Yeah. So my thoughts on this is that the certification piece of it isn't absolutely necessary for you to be successful in helping people. I think they're great to have. I think they're good, but I've never talked to a trainer and been like, "Hey, what's your certifications before I'm going to work with you?" I don't know many people that have gone to a gym and, you know, signed up at a gym and went to talk to a personal trainer and then checked their credibility and checked their certifications ahead of time. Right or wrong, but I don't know many people that do that. So I don't think that a certification is the end all be all. They're definitely nice to have. To that credibility piece. It's really good that you have the credibility, but you don't have to have a certification because, a lot of these certifications you have to pass with like a 70% or an 80% or a 90% to be certified, which is okay, cool. But does that mean you actually know what you're talking about? Like some of them have all transitioned to be online. You can use the book. Okay, cool. So, but do you really know what you're talking about? And so you might have a certification, but still have no idea what you're talking about. And at that point, I'd rather go with somebody who has 5, 10 years experience in something as opposed to someone who has a certification that's fresh out of that certification. So if you, to the listener who asked the question, I don't know that a certification is absolutely essential for you to help people, especially if you've been living the lifestyle and doing the things that you want to help people. I don't have a certification. Stevie, you don't have a certification for what we do. We've just been in the space for a very long time. And so we have a lot of credibility in what we're saying because we've lived it. And so that carries more weight to me than just a certification. If you're brand new and you get your certification, would someone trust you over Stevie and I because we've been doing this for 10, 20, 30 years, as opposed to you who is just freshly certified trainer? I don't know, right? And then so that's my thought on certifications. What do you think about certifications? And then I'll answer the second part of the difference of the two.
Yeah, I definitely don't know the difference between the two. I did have the ISSA certification about 15, 20 years ago, and it didn't get me any clients. It didn't do anything for me. And I was currently on TV, by the way. So everything should have been like people wanted to work out. I was on TV. I was probably in the best shape of my life. But well, on your point, 20 years after that, 15, 20 years after that, with the life experience and the more injuries and things that I've experienced not only just with working out, but just in life in general, and found myself and found perspective. All these things are important. The wisdom, I would say, not even the knowledge, but the wisdom that comes with the life experience, I value a whole lot more. And I was certified, so I did get that book smart type of approach to doing all that stuff. But you can't look at a NASM book or an ISSA book and say that person in front of me fits page 36 in the certification and this and that. You can apply the principles if you don't
Sure.
know, but the it's a bad use of words, the cycles and cycles and cycles of workouts, not the other cycles, the cycles and phases of workout programs and workout techniques and the Wendler 531s and uh, circuit training and Athlete X and P90X 1, 2, and 3 and Tony Horton 101, all these different things that we've looked at from people that have done these things, not even talking about the nutrition and sleep factors. Um, I will always look at people that have the experiences and they identify with me because their experiences match mine. Those are the people I pay attention to,
Sure.
any space, the people we can identify and relate to. So you're not going to, and that's the thing, even if you're certified or not certified, or you're doing a show or you have a YouTube channel or a brand, you're not going to identify with everybody.
Sure.
And you need to find the people out that you can speak to that will benefit from it and do that. So whether this person wants to get certified or not, you still have to look at what your niche is going to be, what your specialty, what your training is going to be. And the
Sure.
one thing I will say about certifications, when you're talking about an in-person thing, I found out real quick when I was certified And also when I taught yoga and taught a lot of yoga classes, the burnout rate for personal trainers is 100%. And you're eventually going to kind of need to be an information source online, embrace the technology where you can reach more people. And, that's why I think we're not certified at this point, because there's so many other outlets and ways that we can reach people in a real authentic way that we choose to put our energy into instead of getting the piece of paper.
Sure. Sure. Yep. And I think, like the experience definitely outweighs the certification. But if you're brand new and if this is your first
Or if you want to
attempt
work
to,
in a gym, you're going to be required to be certified.
right, right. And so that's, like if you're whatever career path you're wanting to go down and you need to have some level of certification, okay, then definitely get one. And if you're brand new to this and you're trying to establish yourself, and it goes back to that second guessing and the fear and all that kind of stuff, like if you've got the experience, then I feel like you're good and don't necessarily need the certification. But if you're second guessing yourself, and that piece of certification is going to give you that peace of mind and give you that credibility that you feel like you need, then it's definitely going to be worth it, especially if you're starting out and you're trying to establish yourself. Then you can kind of use that as a leverage piece to say, hey, I am certified. I'm new to this, but I am certified in this, right? And so as far as the differences, truthfully can't speak to really what the big differences are between ISSA and the NASM. What I would suggest is go through both of them. They have sales reps that you can call and talk to, ask them questions. I actually just did this for the NASM sports nutrition certification program that they have. I called them and I asked them, what are the differences? What's the learning style here? Some of the programs are still book based. Some of them are online based. I'm a visual and auditory learner. I like to see it and hear it at the same time. And so for me, having video content is going to be the best way for me to learn for that certification. If that's the best way for you, then I know the NASM certification has video audio libraries. ISSA, I don't know what they do. I honestly don't know, but I would check those things and see which learning style is going to make the most sense for you, and then make your decision from there.
The last time I checked, I know NASM is kind of the standard bearer. So if you have the money, I would always recommend that. People
Sure.
who hear that, gyms sometimes will require nothing but that, because the ISSA, when I took the thing, it was all online. It was pretty easy. It was
Sure.
a lot cheaper than the NASM one. I don't know if that's the case in 2023, but I do feel like you get what you pay for. Now,
Sure.
when I personal trained, it was at a Snap Fitness that my friend owned. I just needed to get it in order to get the insurance. So it was kind of just like, get any certification so we can insure you. But
Yeah.
the NASM is truly, now it's going to take you longer to get certified, I think, with the NASM. This is from my experience back then. It's more involved, takes more to pass it. Um, but the ISSA one is also something that, okay, you're a certified personal trainer, and that's it. But it's just the beginning too. I know we're getting a little long in the tooth with this. It's just the beginning. Just because you're
Mhm.
certified doesn't mean you're done learning,
Right.
and you're still going to have to put in the life experience. So, but there are people that live and die. They might look at us now and say, "Man, these dudes aren't even certified. Why should I
Yeah.
listen to them?"
Yep.
That's totally cool too.
Yep. Yep. That's fine. No big deal. It's fine. It just depends on the market you're trying to reach and why you want to do it. If you can justify it to yourself, justify the expense, then by all means go ahead and do it. I don't think you could go wrong with either one of them. I think both of them would be sufficient in giving you the knowledge base and giving you the skill sets that you need to have a good foundation. I don't think that either one of them would be a bad choice. Just figure out which one makes the most sense for you.
And if you've never done it, I suggest that you go to a gym and you ask if you can be like a shadow or personal
Yeah.
trainer,
Yeah.
because that's what you can be certified and book smart or whatever. But when you see the grind that's involved with being an in-person trainer, if that's what
Sure.
you want to do, he or she didn't say either
Didn't say.
way.
Yeah.
It's involved. And if you want to do online training with an app called like Trainerize, I used to use that. That's also for each client. you're putting 8 to 10 hours worth of work to get them set up. It's almost more work than just seeing them at a gym.
Sure.
The accountability checks. It's a beautiful piece of software. If you've never used it, Mike, it's great to be able to build workouts and deliver them to people
Yes.
online, but it's a lot of work.
Sure.
People think it's just instantly like you can, if you want to do it right, you have to like look at a person and just figure out every instance of what they're doing. And then again, on the emotional side or the frustration side of training, you have that person for 30 minutes to an hour. And then the other 6 days a week, they're eating like crap and they're not doing what they're supposed to. And then they'll
Sure.
blame you for it. And
Sure.
I get blamed all the time that my programs don't work or accused of it. And I said, well, have you consistently done this, 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 and this? Well, no, but I figured if I just used the bands and did some curls, then it would build my legs up.
Sure.
Okay. All right. All right.
Yeah.
I should start
Whatever
a
you say.
podcast and get away from this. I need to be a podcaster with that. So that's about it. Hopefully, we answer your question. And if it's something you want to do, don't let anybody tell you you can't do it.
Right.
That get that out of your head. Only be around people that are going to encourage you. And if that's your calling to train people and help people, do not let anybody tell you you can't do it. Somebody has to do it, and we need more people to help people in the space based off of what you said about people on social media and other people to give people the false expectations out there without it,
Right.
not any real tools to achieve those goals.
Right. Right. Oh, yep.
That's about it.
So hopefully we answered that question. Yep.
Yeah. And if you want to give Mike and myself, as he has a sore throat and I just have the voice I have, which gets very raspy, you can leave us a voice message through anchor.fm/big fitness show. So make sure you leave us a voice message. So if you use that, you can do that. I think you can play it on Spotify too. There's all these different features that I'm just learning about the Anchor Spotify type of thing. We can even play licensed music and not get like, I don't know, not have the cops show up at our houses. I don't know what they do it this
Yeah.
for copyright strikes, but leave us a voice message because that'll be way more interactive. Have any kind of question or even a comment about the show, feedback, suggestion, as long as it's not too mean, we'll play
Yeah.
it on the show. So
Yep.
leave us a voice message on there, or if you're on another platform, you can also go to anchor.fm/big fitness show and leave that voicemail. You don't have to subscribe through Anchor to do that. It's pretty cool stuff, pretty exciting, and we want to be as interactive as possible with you, the audience. So, and if you know somebody that might benefit, share the podcast, subscribe, of course, but share it with people. Let them know that there's somebody out there or two guys out there with this show that are going to try to be as plain spoken and use common sense when it comes to possibly outside of technology, the most complicated industry probably in the world that can
Yeah.
be interpreted millions of different ways.
Yeah. For sure. For sure. Yeah. We're just here to help. So like, comment, subscribe, all the things, share the show, leave a review. This is a new thing for both of us, and we want to bring as much value as we possibly can to the table, and your feedback will help us do that. If you like the conversation, great. If you don't like it, great. Tell us so that we can, improve and constantly get better. I think both of us, with our New Year's resolutions, established that we want to grow, we want to be better, we want to do more, we want to be better people, better men, better husbands, like all the things that we want to do, bring more value to you, and you can play a key role in helping us get there. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, all the things.
Yeah, and I am sure one of the feedback things we're going to get is the fact that we said we're going to alternate the introductions every other episode. Your throat is not feeling well, so I took the bullet in episode number 2. So we are going to stick to that. Mike is going to
all right, fair enough.
share the introductions, and I'll close us out. I mean, you kind of did it, and now I'm going a little bit too long. So, like I said, subscribe. Check it out. We both have our bio links in the description here on the YouTube channel if you're watching, and also in the episode notes, because we didn't want to have 15 paragraphs of links, but we do have like link tree sites. They're called bio.sites. You can get one too for anything you want. It's free. Check it out. But if you click on those links for mine or Mike's or both of them. You can see all of our recommended brands and the things we believe in that you can possibly save money on. But if you click those links, use them for purchases, you support both of our brands, and you ensure that this show is free as well as ad free, for as long as we can have it, hopefully forever. We will keep it ad free on the audio end. There'll be a couple of minimal ads on the video side on YouTube, but YouTube does that anyway, even if you don't pick ads. So that's there. We try to just provide information without any kind of goofy breaks that are monetized. So use those bio.site links, use the links of our recommended brands that we believe in to support the content. And of course, we'll try to get codes and links that will save you money and make your dollar go further with those purchases. So thank you guys so much. Stay tuned. Episode 3, don't have a subject, but we're going to improve. So by episode 3, we'll know what episode 4 is. So we'll be able to give you a preview. We're becoming more organized as time goes on, but hopefully having a good time. Hopefully you're having a good time. Are you, Mike?
Having a great time. Having a great time. We will
Better
get this.
answer. I'm having a great time too. Stay tuned. Episode 4 next week. Till then, everybody have a great week.
See you in the next episode.